Shalom, shalom, and shalom. Peace in the wilderness with Ahaya Ahaya. Peace in the wilderness with Ahaya Ahaya. Just coming this morning with a short video. And I'm going to do a lot of piggybacking on two topics. One is Yah is on the front line, and there he shall remain where he has always been, on the front line. And I'm going to see him as just that, on the front line at all times. And another topic was, it is a spiritual battle. It's not a flesh or natural battle. If we think for 1 minute that we can have, let's say for instance, Russia and China in a war. Do you all understand the war that Russia and China will be in can never, ever, 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 ever override or be as great and big and horrible as the war in the spirit? Trying to give you a little taste of something. That this spiritual battle is bigger and worser and powerful than the battle of the natural. So if Russia and China and Russia had a war today, they battle in the war of the flesh could not outride the battle that we are coming to know today in the spirit. And just think, we almost bypass the fact that the battle is heavy than what we can even imagine. So it also put me in a situation where I'm sitting and I'm saying over and over and over and over, I can't understand why people ain't seeing what's going on. Why people can't see what's going on. They can't see it. You can't see all that stuff going on around you. You can't see. And the reason why I'm seeing it is because I'm in the spiritual realm seeing this thing. And the reason why many can't see what I'm seeing and I'm hooping and hollering about is because they measuring it from the flesh realm, from what they can see in the natural. But the battle always been greater to me in the spirit. But when the Father dropped the bombshell, he was allowing me to understand the deepness of the spiritual battle that's taking place. And now it makes me understand why I'm seeing the things that I'm seeing, and reason why others are not beholding it, reason why others are not getting it, a reason why others are not understanding it, because the understanding it and getting it and beholding it and seeing it and hearing it, it too is spiritual. You know, you guys, someone sent me a message this morning, and they spoke of I think her name is Yolanda Adams. I think that's her name, who made that song, "This battle is not ours." And that is so true. And just imagine how many times I told you that Michael Jackson and James Brown had wrote songs to send us all kind of clips of what's going on. But we miss it. We missed it. We missed it like we missed everything in this day right now that's going on. People have no idea the Democratic and the Republican is only voting to set you up. That's it. They're not voting to have one team win and do something different, or the other team win and do something different. They're voting to set you up for heartaches, sorrow, chaos, and any and every everything else that's dark in this world. Republicans and Democratic is setting the people up for all darkness and wicked and evil in this world. But can they see that war? Can they see that battle? So that leads me to understand that there's many things that's taking place that the people will not and have not and shall not see, and whether it's in the spirit realm or if it is in the natural. They're not going to see it. But it's not meaning that it's not taking place and it's not before them. So the minds are detached to the things of darkness so thick to where light is not even in their plans to see anything in the light. So I say unto you all, boy, that brought a big relief to me, Sister Deborah. It really does to understand it to the fullness of where the Ruach was willing to drop within me, to really understand the fullness. And like she was saying through the message that I got this morning, Yolanda Adams, that song she had made years ago, this battle is not yours. Maybe you need to go back to it and see if you can hear something outside just the battle itself. Because every little help to reminisce on in the natural so you can really grip what is taking place in the spirit. This is when you're already in the spirit. Many of you all don't really understand the level of the spirit. So when I come along and I said a spiritual backpack, a spiritual lane, spirit and truth, the light, these things are what is spirit, okay? These things are spirit. These things is not something you grip in the natural. That's why I say unto you, it is not meant for your ears nor your eyes to behold what Sister Deborah is trying to show you, or hear what Sister Deborah is trying to say unto you, unless Yah has placed within you the spiritual ear to hear, the spiritual eye to see. You see, that's why he keeps chastising me on the level of thinking. Stop thinking that everybody can see, Deborah. Stop thinking that everybody can hear. What did I say said to you in time past? They say they see, Deborah. They cannot see, Deborah. They say they see, Deborah. They cannot see, Deborah. They say they hear, Deborah. They cannot hear, Deborah. They say they hear, Deborah. They cannot hear. So he's ensuring me that I am in the wrong for having such high expectations on individuals that he hasn't dealt with one-on-one. Okay? So that's a blessing right there, all in itself. That's a very powerful blessing, because he's actually letting you know it doesn't level out like you in the flesh might feel it or think that it should. It too is coming from a spiritual end and a spiritual line. So I say unto you, you all that are out there that are at the sound of Sister Deborah's voice, know that you're not following Sister Deborah because of Sister Deborah. You're following something that I'm saying, that your ears are hearing, and following that which you hear. Not Sister Deborah in the flesh, but you're following that which you can hear. You see, is that a good thing? That's a darn good thing. You know why? That shows that you yourself is at a level where you can hear Yah if you really wanted to. You can actually hear Yah if you really wanted to. Because if you can hear Sister Deborah, you can hear Yah even better and even closer. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of you all might think, oh, I'm following Deborah because I've been following her a long time, and I've been on here and hearing her, and she says some things that are right. You know, yes, she's wrong sometimes, but yet she said some things are right. If you think for 1 minute that's your flesh following Sister Deborah, no, it's not. It's your spirit being that Yah has invested something in you to hear the spiritual word out of Sister Deborah. But it's not connected to Sister Deborah, you guys. It's connected to the spirit realm of who he is. He can speak to you without you even knowing Sister Deborah. He can speak to you one-on-one and lead and guide you. But the day that we're in, he's doing what he always did. This is not a new thing, you guys. Solomon spoke of it. He's doing the same thing that he did back then, and he's doing it now. This shows us that he's unchanging Yah. He changed not his way. His ways are unchanging. So if you are continuing to follow me, you really might think in your flesh that you're following me because you've been following me for some time, and you really kind of get a kick out of what I'm saying at times. Maybe you're not like how I said it, but you know it's something I'm saying that gives you a kick. That's because the kick is already in you. How about that? The kick is already in you. Let me tell you why. Because you wouldn't follow the flesh. You would have to follow the spirit, because I speak the words of that which the spirit speak unto me. So therefore you're following the spirit, and you don't need Sister Deborah to follow the spirit, because the spirit is already in you following you. He just giving you some outer man voice to give you what the inner man needs to receive. He's just giving you some outer man voice that the inner man is already willing to receive. Why? Because it's food for the spirit. It's food for the spirit. Me and my baby son was talking, and I was telling him, he was telling me that people would think that I'm mean. And the reason why they think that I'm mean, they would think that I'm mean. And the reason why they would think, he said, because it's the way I say things. He said, it is the way you say it. And then I said to him, okay, if Yah is willing to deal with me at the way I am saying it and how I'm saying it, look like this is the way he created me to say it. Ever since I was a teenager, I always pleaded with the Father to teach me how to say the things that he would want me to say. And if he has not worked with me and I'm 64, then he leads me to understand this is the way you want me to speak. Why? Because it captured the boldness, it captured the power, and put it where it belongs. Many people have took the Father off the front line in their hearts and in their minds. Me? Do I talk like I put him somewhere in the box? Do I speak of him like he's somewhere in a hole somewhere? No. I speak of him as he all that and some, and gonna be even more in the days to come, as if I've been knowing him from the heavens on down. That's how I speak of him. You see? And when I speak of him this way, you have to have a heavy boldness in you. It has to be something in you to make you different than everybody else. You see? And it's not something of your own. It has to be something that Yah placed in you to be able to get his word to go out in a level of where he wanted to go out. Why? Because we heard too many voices in the land, you guys. We've heard so many voices in the land. And a lot of the voices in the land, it's like patty cake, baker, man. Let me say it, that I can make them understand, or I can get them to understand. And it's not about the flesh understanding. It's still about even the war in the spirit. It's still about them understanding it in the spiritual realm. So my son was saying it's the way you say it. And you don't feel you need to change the way you say it. The only thing the Father gave me after that conversation, that midnight hour, was, Deborah, They hate me because I tell them the truth. Because when I went to my son and it kind of shut him up, I say, so you saying to me, truth has to be spoken at a way that flesh is willing to receive it. My son, he just stood still. You're telling me that truth, this is what I said to him, has to be spoken in a way to get the flesh to receive it. That's that example I told you. If someone running across the highway and I see them running and the cars are coming and I holler and I yell out, danger! Why? The car's coming. Is that person going to knock and stop right in the middle of the intersection because the way I say it? No, it's gonna make them move quicker across the street. Why? Because the fierce in what was said frightened them. Well, see, that's how Yah is. He wants the words of his servants to pierce them so deep that they run to his bosom, that they run to the light, that they want to do what's right. They want to think about it. They want to feel about it. They want to seek it. You see? That's why the world ain't seeking nothing but politics. Republicans and Democrats, LAGB, whatever they call themselves. Everybody want to seek the things of that nature. How to be fame, how to get fame, how to get fortune. I want to just be in the midst of what Yah want me to be. So when I said that to my son, I say, so you would miss out on truth because you're focusing on how truth is being spoken. So you're going to be doomed. Because you're going to miss out on truth because you're telling truth. Look, truth, I don't want to hear you unless you say it quiet in a way that my flesh is willing to receive it. This is all they said. And that's why the Father told me that midnight hour during that next day, but really in that midnight hour because he spoke to me several times. It's like this, Deborah. I tell you the truth and you hate me. That is so true. Because they ain't focusing on what, okay, are you saying truth? No, they're hating the fact that truth is being spoken. And they will line it up is how you say it, the way you say it. But the Father wants you to know it don't have anything to do with it outside of truth. And then he began to tell me, do you understand how many prophets have died? Many prophets have died because they spoke truth. Don't you know they got frustrated because every time y'all would tell them to say the very same thing that they have been saying over and over and over and over and over, he had them to say it. And what happens? They didn't take heed to it. None of it. And what they did take heed to it, it brought them to bring anger to the point of let's kill the prophet. Who kills the prophets the way these people killed the prophets? Who killed the prophets, Deborah? Israel and Judah. Israel and Judah. So you think Sister Deborah is looking for the Europeans to do something to me? Do you think that I'm looking to China and Russia to do anything to me as a prophet of the Most High Yah? Anybody do anything to Sister Deborah, it'll be Judah. It'll be Judah. That's what you call spirit and truth. That's what you call boldness and power being spoken toward truth. You see what I'm saying? So while we're out here really believing that we're holding truth in our flesh, it goes back to the battle. The battle is in the spirit. So now we have to deal with any and everybody all over again. Because now we got to see them in the spirit realm. And we got to deal with them at the level of the spirit as if there's a war, but it's not what I'm seeing. It's not the person's flesh. It's their spirit that's warring against me. It's their spirits that's battling me. That's worse, baby. The spirit, when a person's spirit is fighting you, baby, that's the worstest war on the earth. I wanted to say sorry, but Father said, don't you say it. That's the worstest battle on the earth is when you have a spiritual battle with an individual and you have no idea that it's a spiritual battle. And when you find out it's a spiritual battle, guess what? That's the worstest war and battle on the earth. Why? Because you cannot fight against that individual. Y'all set it up from the floor that you're still going to have to trust in him to defeat that war, because it's in the spirit realm. You can't fight back with the spirit. Now, what I'm going to do is I will get home today, sit down and take out some time and find out, okay, Father, how must we defeat this in the spirit? We ain't the one that has it. So we have to go back to the whole armor, because the whole armor that we put on would show us how it's fought in the spirit realm. So Sister Deborah is about to go into this store here and pick up a few things. But I say unto you that I appreciate each and every last one of you all are tuning in. And I want to say to you all, y'all also see you as his, because you're sitting on here, you're listening to me in the natural. But you got to understand the words that in which I speak are spirit and they are truth. So therefore, you got some connection to the spiritual creator. Sister Deborah says, shalom and shalom.